When it comes to AI research and development, I feel like it's like often a cat and mouse game between the researchers and developers and like the hypesters, like the people that like are trying to pitch and sell these things overall. And there's a big disconnect when it comes to these things, especially when it comes to agents. Agents is the biggest disconnect in the world when it comes to these things. Like every single researcher and developer that I know understands 1,000,000% that AI agents are not here yet, and like that we don't have a specific and direct path forward to make them 100% viable in the way that people want them to be. On the other hand, and on the other end of the equation, you have literal billions and perhaps trillions of dollars of investment stating that these things will work, and that they're going to work and that they do work in the status quo. And then so you have all of the money essentially stating and behind one part of this equation, right? Which is why you hear so much about that one part of the equation, and then it often becomes muddled, right? Like you'll get someone like me, the AI agents that they don't work, they're flawed. Like I'm just all of a sudden I'm an anti-AI person all of a sudden, right? If I make that claim, and then so that's kind of how it gets broken down. But I can illustrate this to you in the most simplistic way possible. No argumentation required. Even a kid could understand it. And a kid can understand it better than Claude plays Pokemon, which is exactly what I want to demonstrate within this, right? So what we're looking at and what we've been looking at here on the screen is Claude playing Pokemon. And then Claude has been playing Pokemon for, let's call it about a month and a half now. And then Claude started off like on a roll. He got like, I think it was about 4 badges or so. But in the last month and a half, as you can see, Claude hasn't beaten the game. He's got a level 42 Pidgeot, a level 36 Venusaur, level 24 Diglett, a level 24 Wigglypuff, and a level 8 Clefairy, and a level 10 Clefable. And that's his what Claude has done in a month and a half and 4 badges. If I gave this to my 8-year-old son, or like if I gave this to a 5-year-old, they would be able to do better on this game, like far better, and they'd be able to beat this game within a matter of weeks, or within a week or so. And then here we can see Claude getting stuck in weird areas, right? Like Claude hasn't progressed in terms of badges in I think about a month or so. Like you look at this article, like this article is a good progression here of like where Claude has like gotten as far as milestones in the game, right? And then so from a research perspective, this is really phenomenal stuff. This is cool, right? Like the fact that like Claude can even reason on any level whatsoever, can play this game to any level of like capacity is cool overall. But what we've demonstrated and what we can clearly see at this point is that Claude 3.7 cannot beat Pokemon. Like, that's just the bottom line of this. If your corporation, if your organization were anything more complex or as complex as Pokemon Red, your AI agents would not be able to do it. They would choke on it. As we can see here very demonstrably, right? Like if you doubt that, just sit here and watch Claude play Pokemon for 30 minutes. Like literally just go to Twitch TV and watch Claude plays Pokemon if you have any doubts whatsoever about the other side of this equation, right? Like this is the highest end model possible within this. Claude 3.7 Sonnet ranks highest among any of the other models as far as like tool calling, etc., right? There's a lot of like benchmark tests that like are like, that's the reason why Anthropic put out Claude plays Pokemon, right? Their assumption up front was that like once Claude got the 4 badges, they thought it would breeze through the game, and that's what a lot of people thought. Here we are, right? It's not what we thought. It's intelligent in different ways, but it's like, and those different ways are very cool from a research perspective. Like that's kind of the bottom line, right? Like, and I can't stress this enough from like a research and development perspective. This stuff is super cool. I would never like if a company tried to like mandated me to implement this within an organization, I would say like that they're absolutely 100% incompetent. Like that would be the most incompetent leadership in the world that I could possibly imagine. And Uh, if they think that they can replace like any sort of human development within these things with this, I mean, here's your answer, right? Like if you left to its own devices, like think of your everyday tasks. Sending emails, replying to customers, etc. This is the same process that you're going to go through. And then like Claude over the last month and a half has had multitudes of failures, right? And they've had to retool this system over and over and over again. And then it struggles, it warps back. Imagine if this was your customer database and these were your customers. Why is Claude sending me 3 random emails? Would be your random customer that you just lost as a result of this, right? And that's the stakes in some instances, and a lot, like, to me, I guess it really boils down to the stakes of your business overall, right? And that's kind of like what interests me, and what I think is most intriguing to me overall about this entire equation. If your stakes are your customer service department, anything like that, there's no way in heck I would ever put like any AI model in charge of all of those processes, right? You're going to get no better performance than Claude plays Pokemon, and then so as you can see, the performance is not going to be up to snuff overall, right? Claude has been stuck here since we've been watching this video for like the last 10 minutes. He hasn't even moved, right? This is what happens on a daily basis. Like, again, imagine this is your organization, right? Claude's all of a sudden he's cleaning up his context, and then so he's wiping out your database right now in order because he doesn't know where to go within your database, and then so now he's just like overwriting content, deleting customers, whatever's going on in there, right? And you're just letting that go, and then Claude plays email, Claude plays marketer, Claude plays customer service agent. It's going to go just as well as Claude plays Pokemon. He's not going to do it. He can't beat the game. And then so, I mean, it's just as simple as that, right? And then this is as opposed to on the other end, again, you have a lot of money, a ton of money invested. I mean, all of the money literally is invested on the other end of this equation. That's why you hear so much about it, right? But investing trillions of dollars still doesn't get Claude to beat Pokemon. And that's like the bottom line of this, right? And I can't, stress this and point this out enough. I think I've beaten the dead horse within this multiple times here and giving you kind of the crystal clear framework within this, illustrating it. Go check it out. Like if that's again, if it's for entertainment purposes, like if there's no stakes involved, then yeah, go check out twitch.tv Claude Plays Pokemon. It's super cool to watch and to check it out. Don't put Claude Plays Pokemon into your customer service department. I can't stress that overall enough. And then if you like this type of content, please subscribe. Thank you very much.